It was a Saturday morning. I was actually at home at the time, and I received a call from the office that explained to me that there was a fire at the marina. Obviously the first question under those circumstances is, was anyone hurt? And the response that I got was no. The key thing for me then was to quickly get to the marina. Once I was in the car on my way, I called Simon from IC Frith, and the satisfying response from them was that they said, we'll be down there straight away.
I arrived about 5 minutes after Darren, and the fire was still alight when I arrived. There would have been about 20 fire brigade units down there.
About 30% of the building itself had been damaged by fire. There was also damage to our large workshop shed, damage to our hardstand crane, and reasonably significant smoke damage to other areas within the building.
The shipwright shed was completely destroyed. The mechanical tenant shop was also very badly damaged. So the key for us was to get an assessor involved.
There was a lot of smoke damage to the main pavilion part of the building. So those areas that weren't consumed by the fire were either affected by water and or smoke, and the smoke could be seen from many kilometres away. It was a pretty substantial blaze.
It was devastating to see this sort of damage that was occurring to the building. We'd put our heart and soul into the redevelopment of this facility. We took it very personally. We felt that, in fact, one of the discussions I'd had with the previous owners, the Halversons, was that we saw ourselves as the custodians of the site going forward. And to see, after so many years of hard work, to actually undertake the redevelopment and achieve the quality of outcomes that we'd achieved, to see this occur was heart-wrenching.
Collaboration is essential. If you don't set that up at day one, it won't work and you'll have problems all the way through the claim. And often I think that needs to be explained to clients. In their time of need, you actually need an insurer and a broker and a loss adjuster and a builder ultimately all working together in partnership.
Because we're a marina, the majority of our business and our clients' enjoyment of the facility occurs over the summer months. So it became absolutely paramount that we were able to get this undertaken within 4 months to ensure that the project was complete before the peak summer period.
On the building side, we brought in a building consultant to help scope the damage. We had an architect, we had electrical consultants, as well as structural engineers. So we broke down all these trades to make sure that we were addressing all elements that needed to be taken into account in reinstating the damage.
I was able to work with Cunningham Lindsay, Stuart Crofton from Cunningham Lindsay, with a fair bit of freedom, and to be able to just go ahead and authorise works along the way that were within the building claim. And working with Steve Barlow, we were able to make quick decisions here in a team environment to make things happen straight away.
I initially thought a 16-week building program was probably achievable. We fine-tuned that and finally said that a 12-week program was the attainable deal, which at first we sort of thought, oh, this is a bit pushing the envelope, but if you don't try, you don't go.
In the event of a claim, it's really important that we have the right panels of loss adjusters and builders. They know they've got the backing of QBE, so they can make decisions on the ground which actually enable them to get on with the job without referring back to us.
One of the issues that was significant in relation to this event was the fire damage that occurred to existing tenancies. One of the key elements for us as a business overall is not only the rent that we receive from those tenancies, but it's the ability of our business to deliver services to our clients, which include performing works on the hardstand that need a whole team of trades to deliver rectification works, maintenance works, and those sorts of elements. One of the opportunities we explored with QBE was how to create temporary accommodation for these tenants while the building was being rebuilt. And we explored a number of different options. One was to create a floating tenants village. When we assessed the business case of each option, it was the floating tenants village that looked to be the best solution.
The insured were very mindful that they didn't want any of their tenants, particularly the cafe, being out of operations while the roof repairs were undertaken.
We actually changed the whole front of the roof over in one day, We had 24 roofers removing and replacing that extent of roofing. It was pretty amazing.
This marina has a hardstand operation that generates a good deal of its income. Now, the fire damaged this hardstand area, and as a result, a major part of their income was not able to be generated. So it was important that they had a business interruption cover that covered the loss of revenue, but also to make sure the marina hardstand could get up and running as quickly as possible.
Often, I believe that business interruption is not sold properly in the marketplace because people don't fully understand the impact a claim could have on their business. I think in this instance, the business interruption insurance allowed them to have continuity in cash flows to keep their employees employed, but also assisted them in developing a great plan to get their business back on even footing.
When we look at the decisions that we've taken in relation to our insurance, we can see the value that actually came from ensuring that we had both our property and our business interruption insurance with the same insurer, because it meant that the whole picture, the whole impact of our business was being considered holistically. A key element of that as well was to ensure that our cash flow was maintained so that we could continue to be able to maintain that program, but also meet our obligations as a business and maintain our reputation as a business. QBE's support in that process was that they provided timely progress payments for both sides of that equation.
By virtue of the weekly meetings that Darren would have with our assessor, this would give our assessor a good idea of how the insured's cash flows were running. Now, QBE were able to respond to these cash requests in a timely fashion, normally within 1 or 2 days. These were large amounts, 200,000 upwards on occasions, and we were able to turn those around by wire transfer within 1 to 2 days.
In building the relationships in the delivery of this project, one of the key elements was to be open with information, which was really the key to its success, because if you've got everyone working together and you've actually built that relationship of trust, then you're able to move forward in actually getting the project done. People can move forward confidently, people are empowered to make the decisions that they need to make, and we're able to actually get on with the project and get it done.
Everyone was happy with the settlement amounts of the claim, and I'm talking about QBE as well as the client. And I think that just shows the implicit trust that's developed in the QBE relationship over this long period. And we have some very close relationships with many of the staff at QBE as well, and I think that helps when you're doing business day to day.
This one's just up for a normal anti-foul, regular service work, probably been about 12 months since it was done last time.
The ultimate test following a claim like this is whether the insured actually renews their policy with QBE.
The broker that manages that claim for IC Frith said to me, what do we do? Should we go to the market given there's, a reasonable size increase on this account? And I said, well, talk to the client about it.
In my mind, in looking at the policy and the premium as it was presented to us this time round, we were happy to accept the increase in the premium because, in my view, it still represented excellent value for money based on the experience that I'd had in the recovery from this fire.
You busy?
Steady enough, which is good. I don't want to be over busy.
It's good to be back in your workshop.
Much better being back in the workshop, a lot less running around.
It's amazing now to think, 4 months down the track, we've completed all the work, the business is back to exactly where it was, and we're moving forward prosperously. It's like it never happened. And it certainly isn't something I'd want to go through again, but I think the experience of how we actually got there enabled us to learn a lot about ourselves and about our business, and how you can actually achieve things working with the right people.
We make certain promises to clients that when the chips are down, we'll be there. And in this case, we were there, and we were very fortunate to have a supportive QBE right behind us.